Alan made it home. In bed, he felt so alone, and his thoughts centered on his amazing Jane. As he thought, he could almost hear Jane speaking to him. Don't forget me but be happy. Don't be sad, the pain is gone, and my Lord is comforting me. Finally, Alan felt the extreme loneliness ease, and he fell asleep. In his dreams, Jane seemed to be encouraging Alan to pursue Vivian. Alan determined that perhaps he should pursue Vivian. She is beautiful, kind, gentle, considerate, and loving, a real catch. Vivian slowly got ready for bed, thinking about that 47-year-old man she had gone out with. She could see herself giving her love to him. She did love him. He had been her friend, her protector, and he was kind, generous, and remarkably good-looking. He had kept himself in good physical shape, and she was in love with him. She thought about Jane's last words to her, "Take care of my man." Yes, she would do just that. Saturday, Alan was up at his usual time, 5 a.m. As he showered, he hummed a little ditty Jane used to like, "I got you babe." The tune stuck in his mind as he dressed, but then he heard something like a woman's voice singing, "I got you babe." Then he smelled bacon frying. Am I going nuts? He walked into the kitchen to see the back of a curvy person. In shock, he cried out, "Jane!" And he dropped into a chair. The curvy person turned around. It was Vivian. "Good morning, Alan." She was smiling and holding a plate of hotcakes. About then, in walked Susan, then Amber. Both ladies stopped, stared a moment, then turned, saying, as they left, "Well, he's in good hands, let's go." Vivian put 2 plates on the table, loaded with hotcakes. She turned and retrieved 2 cups of steaming coffee and the maple syrup. She sat, took Alan's hand, and leaned over and kissed him. "Jane told me to take care of her man, so here I am." Alan asked, "How did you get here?" She replied, "My dad brought me over." Then he asked, "How did you get into my house?" She answered, "Jane gave me her key." He smiled and said, "This whole thing is Jane's doing, her conspiracy. My goose is cooked, isn't it?" Vivian looked a little sad. "I'll go away if that's what you want." He responded, "No. I want you to stay. Would you like to watch a movie with me this evening?" Her face lit up with a huge smile. "Oh, yes." He took both of her hands in his, dropped his head, and thanked the Lord for the hotcakes, the day, and Vivian. Alan's agenda for the day included mowing the lawn, doing the laundry, cleaning the house, and grocery shopping. As they ate, Vi said she would do the laundry, dust, and vacuum. "I would love to go shopping with you." At noon, she made them sandwiches, and they both worked on dinner. Finally, they snuggled and watched You've Got Mail. Vi asked, "Alan, would you please take me home?" He responded, "You could stay here, there are 2 extra beds, Roger and Elizabeth won't be here this week." Then, she asked to use his phone to talk to her dad. "Daddy, Alan asked me to stay here. He has rooms for Roger and Elizabeth, but they won't be here this week." Her dad asked, "Honey, what do you want?" She whispered, "To stay here." He responded, "Let me talk to Alan." She handed Alan the phone. "Alan, you will be honorable, won't you?" He answered, "Yes, I will not touch her," whispering, he went on, "until we're married." Several months and many dates with Vivian later, Alan planned for a barbecue and swimming party, inviting the Sheriff's Department deputies and their families, the Phillips family, and the whole Teresa fan club. As the day grew to a close, Alan called for a little quiet, then kneeling before Vivian, he proposed, holding out a diamond ring. Vi answered, "Yes." Later that evening, Vivian shyly asked Alan if she could wear Jane's engagement ring. Alan replied, "I had thought about that, but I didn't want you to think you were Jane's replacement. On the contrary, I wanted you to know that my feelings for you are not just feelings for Jane's replacement. You have your own place in my heart, a place uniquely yours. But if you wish," he took the ring off her finger and replaced it with the ring Jane had worn. Vivian thanked him with a kiss. They talked about their wedding, when, where, who, and what. Alan wanted their wedding to be one she would remember for the rest of her life, so he asked Susan and Amber to help him plan the perfect wedding. It was planned for the middle of May, formal, wedding gown, tuxedo, bridesmaids, groomsmen, ring bearer, the whole 9 yards. Vivian asked Shelley to be her maid of honor and Susan and her high school best friend to be her bridesmaids. Alan asked Amber to be his best friend, best man, Sheriff Murdoch, and Ty to be his groomsmen. Frank proudly led Vivian down the aisle to give her away. After the wedding, Vivian moved into their master bedroom. Alan asked Susan about the possibility of the Viet Cong vasectomy being reversed. She said that she would talk to someone in the urology department at the university hospital. She found an older urologist who said he would take the case and coordinate with the VA to get it done, if possible. The VA took two things into account: Alan's Medal of Honor and that an AK-47 bullet caused his sterility. In addition, the top urologist in the country successfully reversed Alan's vasectomy. After her graduation, Alan helped her register for the police academy in Henry County. She would be allowed to go home every evening. She did have a driver's license, so Alan began looking for a small used car. In the end, Alan and Vivian settled on a Ford Mustang, and she drove to Henry County every weekday for her classes. The Henry County Police Academy was as thorough as any: academics, physical subjects, shooting range with a myriad of different weapons. The academy classes lasted a full 6 months, the graduates being the best prepared candidates in the state. Vivian graduated third in her class of 100. During her time at the academy, she would leave their house at 7 every morning, Monday through Friday, and Alan would patrol the roads and streets of Mountain View County and the county's towns. Alan usually got home about 5:30. He would prepare the dinner meal, waiting for Vi to get home. Finally, she would arrive home at about 6:30. Alan would wait, anticipating her arrival. When she walked through the door, he would take her in his arms, kiss her, and tell her how much he loved her and how glad he was she got there to him. If Alan were called out at night or on the weekend, she would wait for him, just as he waited for her every Monday through Friday. She would greet him with a loving hug and kisses. One Sunday, after they had been married about 6 months, Alan was on his way home after quelling a fight at the truck stop. He anticipated seeing Vivian, feeling very happy because she was his wife. Vivian greeted him with a hug and kisses, but she paused. "Alan, something is different." He looked at her quizzically. "What's different?" She replied, "I don't know, it's just something feels different." He asked, "Good or bad?" She thought, "Good, it feels warm, closer than ever before," he said. "The only thing different I can think of is that I wanted you to be here to greet me as I was on my home. I felt delighted that you were my wife and hoped you would be my partner. I guess I just love you more." Alan felt a deep sense of peace and happiness wash over him as he held Vivian. Vivian looked into his eyes. "I guess I love you more than ever." She felt more like a woman than she had ever felt. "Captain Smith, let's go to bed. We'll eat later." At her graduation, Sheriff Murdoch asked her if she would consider becoming a Mountain View County deputy. She asked, "May I be my captain's partner?" He replied, "I can think of no better partner for him or you. I anticipate you two becoming my best team." She paused. "Where's Alan?" Then she heard, "Right behind you, Deputy Smith, right behind you." She turned and grabbed Alan and held on tight. "Well, partner, my captain, when do we start?" The sheriff and Alan replied, "Oh, 7:30, Monday morning, Charlie 1 rides again." She asked, "Will we take 7 at the truck stop?" Alan laughed. "You better believe we will." That Saturday, Vivian asked Alan, "Honey, please, can we have dinner at the truck stop?" Alan agreed. As they walked toward the dining room, Vivian remarked, "It's too quiet. This time of day, the joint should be jumping." Alan stopped. "Let's go in by the kitchen." In the kitchen, there were no cooks. Alan peeked through the little window into the dining room. He saw the kitchen staff lying on the floor. Standing over them, a man with an AR-15 assault rifle. Another man stood with an AR-15 aimed at the diners. And a third man pointed his rifle at the manager, saying, "Open the safe now, or you're dead." Alan and Vi retrieved their pistol from their boots. Alan said, very quietly, "We need a distraction." Vi pointed to the fire alarm. Signaling to her, Alan pulled the alarm. Vivian stepped out, grabbed the man's rifle standing over the kitchen crew, and brought her knee up between his legs, and he went down. Alan, right behind her, gave the one watching the diners Jane's tender loving touch. grabbed his rifle and brought the butt of it against the head of the man before the manager while Vi took his rifle. Then, Alan conscripted 2 of the biggest truckers to help him secure the bandits, while Vivian called 911. After the deputies took the 3 bandits away and everyone calmed down, the truck stop went back to business as usual. Alan and Vivian sat and ordered their meal. Vivian was still excited. "Oh, Alan, that was exciting. I'm so glad you let me be part of it." Alan replied, "Vi, you were marvelous. But remember, you're a cop, I didn't let you, I expected you to take part." She smiled, "It was fun. But you have to teach me that move you used," Alan said. "We call it Jane's tender loving touch, but she told us that her teacher called it his Vulcan nerve pinch." The next morning Sheriff Murdoch, in the morning briefing, related Charlie 1's adventure the previous evening. Before going out to their patrol car, the sheriff said to Alan and Vivian, "I knew I was right putting you 2 together. Charlie 1 is a formidable team." Alan and Vivian had been Charlie 1 for almost 3 years. Their professional relationship was the very best in Sheriff Murdoch's department. They almost seemed to read each other's mind in sticky situations. Their personal relationship remained hot. Off duty, they worked well together as much as professionally. They loved and respected each other deeply. During their married life, they never fought, rarely argued, and when they did discuss an issue, they resolved the problem before bedtime. The day had gone well. Corporal Smith and her captain worked seamlessly the entire time. They patrolled the other 3 towns in the county, Whitemore, Grace, and Twin Peaks. At the water treatment plant in Whitemore they found a vagrant sleeping in a tool shed, and took him to the rescue mission. Nothing was found in Grace, but in Twin Peaks they discovered the remains of a horribly mutilated dog in an alley just off the main thoroughfare. The town dog catcher was notified and Charlie 1 went on. When they got home that evening they worked on dinner together and then cleaned up the kitchen and watched some TV. Alan was a little put off because Vivian would not snuggle with him as they usually did. She wouldn't even sit in the same sofa. At bedtime, Vivian showered alone and then dressed in pajamas, for the first time in their marriage. Alan tried to initiate a little romance, but she didn't want to, for the first time in their marriage. Alan's heart broke. This was so reminiscent of the time Susan was pulling away just before he discovered that she was having an affair. The pain in his heart was reawakened, and he couldn't sleep. Alan got up, went into the kitchen, he sat at the kitchen table and wept. "Why, Lord, do I have to love these women just to lose them? I should have gone ahead and eaten that bullet." Vivian had noticed that Alan was not in bed, so she went quietly to the kitchen and heard him crying and talking to Jesus. She suddenly realized what she had done. "Alan, you haven't lost me. I was only trying to test you. I forgot what you've suffered in the past. Please, forgive me." Alan looked up, tears running down his face. "Test me? What the blankety blank does that mean?" Vivian was crying, blubbering. "I wanted you to fight for me. I wanted you to get angry and, oh, Alan, I'm so sorry. I thought we were just getting too complacent, in a rut. I wanted you to, I'm a fool. It was selfishness. I love you, I just forgot you're such a kind, gentle man." Alan looked at her, anger in his eyes, spoke in almost a whisper. "You've known me for 6 years, 3 married. And you expect me to read your mind? I'm a simple man, not some kind of blankety blank wizard." He took her hands in his, looked in her eyes. "Just tell me what you want." He paused a long time, tears running down his face. Then he let go of her hands. "I'm sorry I'm not the man you deserve." Vivian became hysterical, shouting, Jane, what do I do? How can I fix this?" She grew calm, took Alan's face in her hands. "Alan, look into my eyes. Can you see my love for you there?" Alan gazed into her eyes. Yes I can, it's okay now. Let's go to bed." He picked her up and carried her into the bedroom. Grinning, he dropped her onto the bed, leaned over and ripped her pajamas off her. "You'll never wear these again." Then he threw his robe into a corner, climbed onto the bed. "Is this what you wanted?" What happened after that, I can't tell you, but as Vivian told me later, we had more fun than we have had in a long time.